Hey, thanks for tuning in with me today. I've been working a few days on a new pattern and it's a 3-in-1. So it's a seed stitch, some ribbing, and a cable in the middle. That's a 4 stitch crossover. And I'm going to show you the blanket right here. So this is what we're going to do, not the whole blanket, but this is what it looks like. And I want to give you a huge shout out for all the wonderful comments that you've given me and support along the way. I love teaching you, and thanks for giving me the opportunity. So let's go ahead and get started. So the blanket that I showed you in ivory at the beginning, I cast on a total of 30 for the cast on chain, and I do it in 3 sections, and I'm going to show you that, but I'm just going to do a baby size. The 30 cast on made a 45-inch wide blanket, and it does take a little bit more yarn than the stockinette regular knit stitch. So I modified this pattern, and I will put the sections, the amount of stitches in each section for that blanket in the description below. These are my favorite items to use. Like I've said before, any type of measuring tape, my torch lighter to burn yarn connections, and a pair of scissors. And I'll also link those down below. This yarn I'm using today is called Fawn, I believe, and it's from Joann in the Burnett Extra Thick yarn. So we're going to go ahead and make a slip knot. Pull your working yarn through the back. And for this size, I'm going to do 22 cast on chains. If you need a slower tutorial, you can use my beginner hand knitting blanket. If you're a seasoned hand knitter, you should have no problem with this pattern. It's knits and purls, and just 1 cable in the middle. Okay, let's see how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. I'm also going to link some other items that I like to use. And one of them is the adjustable height lifetime table. And I'm not affiliated with any yarn or any of these products, but it has made my hand knitting a lot easier. The adjustable height table, you can sit at it or you can stand. And so now we've got our 22 stitches. We're gonna turn it over, and it really doesn't matter where you pull your stitches through. Whatever's more convenient for you. You can either use the top legs or you can use the middle sections. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the middle. And I just take my thumb and finger and pull that stitch through. If you're familiar with this, you can fast forward right to the stitch pattern. I hope you are having a wonderful day. I'm already thinking about Christmas and fall pumpkins, so jumping ahead a little. Okay, almost done. For baby blankets, I always make my stitches just a tiny bit smaller. Let's count these now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All right, so for this pattern, each edge stitch is going to be always knitted. So we'll do a knit, and then we'll do a purl, because we're going to do our section now for the seed stitch. So the purl goes through the front of your loop, and then we're going to go bring it to the back and do another knit stitch. And then we're going to do a purl stitch and a knit stitch and a purl stitch. Now to end this section, I'm going to just do one knit stitch, and for this row all the way up, it's just going to be knit just like the border. The seed stitch is the purl stitches, and it's going to be every other stitch. But now we're done with that section for this row, and we're going to do 2 purls. And I do 2 purls because I like to use purls to separate the cables. So these 4 next stitches are going to be knit only. We'll do the crossover when we get to row 6 or 7. I believe it's 6, but I do the crossover when I knit left. Then we're going to purl 2 and then knit stitch, and we'll do the same as we did on the other side, and we'll do a purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then knit the edge. Okay, now we're going to go back. Whoopsie, my yarn got caught. So on the seed stitch pattern, coming back, you do the opposite of what you did on our first row. So since there was a purl stitch we did right here, and we're going to leave that edge stitch, we're not going to knit that. We'll knit it on the way back. So now we're going to knit it, and that will create the look of the little bumps for seeds. Now, since this was a knit stitch, I'm going to purl it and knit, because that was a purl, and purl, and that was a purl, so I knit. And now we're back to our edge here. So this is going to be the ribbing. As you go up, you'll see that this is all knit. And then 2 purls. And if you need to write this pattern down, that's great too. This is 4 knits. Like I said, we'll do the crossover later on. And then 2 purls. Now this one again is just like before. It's going to be always a knit stitch. See how this one has a bump? Now we're going to make it a knit. And then a purl, and then a knit. Purl, knit. and then knit the border. Okay, once again, going back, we're just gonna keep continuing that pattern. So we'll leave that edge stitch right there. And this was a knit, so we're gonna purl it. And then knit, purl, knit, purl, and knit. Again, that's the end of that seed stitch section. 2 purls, 4 knits, which is going to be our cable soon. Okay, 2 more purls. Then once again, the knit stitch for the rib. That just separates the seed stitch. Okay, so this one was a knit stitch, so we're gonna purl it. And then knit, purl, knit, purl, and then a knit for the edge. Okay, let's see where we're at. How many rows have we done? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now we're gonna leave that edge, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and now we're back to the edge. So we're gonna knit that since it's the rib, and then 2 purls, 4 knits, I think this color is perfect for a baby blanket. 2 purls, our rib knit, and now here we go with the seed stitch section again. Since you can see that's a purl, we're gonna knit it because it's the opposite of what you did in the last row. And then knit the end. Okay, we're gonna do one more row and then we'll do our cable crossover. And you can start to see the pattern here. This is the ribbing section right here. This is the seed stitch and the cable. All right, that was a knit stitch, so I'm gonna purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and knit, purl 2, knit 4, purl 2, and knit 1. And this was a knit, so we're gonna purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, and then knit the edge stitch. Okay, this is going to be the row where we do the crossover. So let's knit that stitch, purl, knit, purl, knit, and then knit. Always a knit right here, and you can see that in the pattern. Same with the 2 purls. You can see that whole pattern. Okay, here we are at the 4 stitch cable. I've showed you the 2 and 3 stitch cables and 8 stitch, but here's the 4. So you're going to lay down these 2 and knit the 3rd one first and the 4th one after that. And we're going to do cross these 2 over and knit it. It's going to look a little wonky at first, but it'll lay down after we knit a couple more rows. And then knit 1, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, and then knit the edge. So I'll show you a couple more rows, and I want you to know that you can, even experienced knitters make mistakes on more complicated patterns. And I'm going to show you a way, because I did this the other day when I made my big blanket. I noticed that I made a mistake a couple rows down, and I had done 2 purl stitches instead of doing the opposite. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. So I'll purposely do, let's see, I'm going to do 2 purls here, and then, oops, and then I'll go, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. I did 3. So what you can do, and this works even if you're a few rows up, you can see this is the one I messed up on. You can just pop that out like this and go through the back and fix it just like that. Now it's back to normal. How cool is that? Then you do 2 purls. I mean, when I made the mistake, I was a couple rows up, but I was able to pull those just a few stitches out and finger knit them. Now you can see the cable in the middle. And this one's a knit, I mean a purl, a knit, purl, knit, purl, and knit at the end. So this is, I mean, I've always loved the cable blankets and the seed stitch, and I just love the texture of it. So hopefully you enjoyed this tutorial, and I'm not going to go ahead and take up any more of your time, but comment below if you like this pattern that I came up with, and happy knitting.